So herewith, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, that is Mr. Chetan Halani sir. Halani sir is a healthcare professional with postgraduate degree in pharmacy and having more than 10 years of experience in clinical operations, pharmacovigilance, and pharma industry. Sir is having 8 years of experience in clinical operations with major responsibility of managing challenging global studies, in-house monitoring, compliance review, and internal audits. Presently, he is working as a consultant at CityQuest LLP, which is located in Pune, Maharashtra. Sir had also worked with WHO UMC and CDSCO on prestigious national pharmacovigilance program. He has proven expertise in conducting regulatory approved ethically sound clinical trials. He has expertise in clinical trial methodology, site management, site startup, guidelines, trial development life cycle, and practical expertise in handling phase 2 and phase 3 studies. Sir has on-site experience working closely with biggest name in industry, Foresight, Intercell, Macrogenics, ORA, WHO UMC, Sun Pharma, Quintiles Research India Private Limited. Sir has experience in facing multiple audits. He has also experienced in different therapeutic studies like ophthalmology, endocrinology, gastroenterology, and respiratory. Sir has presented papers in various national and international conferences and workshops. Sir has participated in many national and international workshops and published many papers in different journals. So with this short introduction, I request Mr. Chetan Halani sir to deliver his talk on the clinical research. Over to you, Halani sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for the warm introduction and welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts, share the experience of clinical research industry with the faculty members. I guess some of the faculty members may know me. So I would like to share the screen first.
Yes.
Sir, just let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes. Your screen is visible, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I will finish my presentation and discussion in within 30-45 minutes.
Yes. Sir.
So the key important points which I wanted to discuss with the team is we'll share basic introduction about the clinical research. Also, if I get a chance, I will share a few experiences of starting this company, CityQuest. So it's been 4 years we have started this company. So our company is registered with Indian government as a healthcare startup. We are supporting pharma, medical device companies, hospitals, doctors in conducting clinical trials and related services like statistical analysis, medical writing, and few other services. So it was a great experience in last 4 years. It was a roller coaster ride. काफी कुछ सीखने मिला है इन पिछले चार सालों में. Doing business is not easy in corporate world. So I may share a few of my experience with the faculty members. And the objective of sharing this experience and journey is that they can share this to students and encourage them that doing business is tough, but it is not impossible. The journey is beautiful, and in India there are a lot of opportunities of doing a business, especially with these fields like clinical research, pharmacovigilance, data management. There are ample opportunities and scope for doing business. So this is the basic motive of speaking in front of you. So Like I discussed, our startup CTQuest LLP is into these areas: research, healthcare. Training is our passion. So in last 4 years, we have trained many stakeholders related to hospitals, ethics committee, investigators, clients from the CRO's office, sponsors office. We have helped them prepared for audits, inspections. So we are building ecosystems which foster the healthcare and research in the industry. So our company, the key focus of area and business is these four domains. One is clinical trial management, skill and organizational developments, quality, compliance, and health information and communication. In my last slide, I will discuss about the upcoming technologies and future aspects of the clinical research, so that the student can be helpful of these area and prepare themselves for the future. So why we do research, I do not have to explain this to you. We very well know, and the corona time which we are facing at present is the best example that we need research. Research is very important. We must try to bring more and more molecules in the market, and see how it can help the society and patients. We had done wonderful job in last 1 year. So recently we completed 1 year for this corona pandemic, and you have seen scientists worked hard and brought vaccines in less than 1 year. Yesterday I received my second dose of Covishield vaccine, so I'm very happy and thankful to the scientists and entire team of stakeholders and people involved in the research process. Yeah. So the what is the purpose of research? So the key purpose is to increase the benefit, healthcare and access to the patients, to the needy, and we minimize the risk, disease burden, and cost in the society and to the patients. So this is the key purpose of the research, why we do research. India definitely lagging behind in bringing NCEs, new chemical molecules, but things are changing. People are working hard now. There are a lot of collaborative efforts. Indian government is supporting. There are a lot of funding opportunities at present, which I again want to highlight to the faculty members. So sometimes what happens, we are not aware about these funding opportunities. But I would like to just give a few examples. Like there are few incubation centers in Pune, Bangalore, and other cities, Mumbai definitely, and they are always requesting the researchers to come forward, share their plan, and if they can fulfill the criteria, there are different grants of BARAC, like big grant and a few other grants. So we must take benefits of it, and there should be a good collaboration of academia and industry also, so that the students get benefit. This model I have seen in Mumbai University colleges like ICT, Bombay College of Pharmacy. They have very good and wonderful collaborative approach between the industry and academics. So the ultimate beneficiaries are students. They get a lot of opportunity to work in the live projects. Practical approach develops within the students. So we must try for this funding opportunities and research projects. So coming back to the point, drug development, if we broadly see, there are three different phases of the clinical trial. Preclinical phase, drug discovery, then comes into the clinical phase of the development, where we study the effect of drug in patients and healthy volunteer. Phase 1 is usually conducted in healthy volunteers, and rest of the phases in diseased adults. And after the phase 3 is over, the sponsor can submit their data to regulatory authority for taking for the permission for marketing of their product. And last phase of the development is post-marketing surveillance, where additional use and efficacy safety data is studied in this phase of the study. So preclinical phase, I have worked at college level thanks to Dr. Kale sir. We have worked for anti-thyroid activity of few molecules and antioxidant products. So in colleges, many of the colleges may have the in-house animal facility, and there is a huge scope. We can collaborate with pharma companies and have a very excellent collaborative approach for bringing new molecules. Toxicology studies are important, and without that we cannot move to the clinical phase of the study. So it is just a suggestions, whatever colleges, faculty members are there, if you have a animal facility in-house, please develop to the standards of the industry so that they can use your facility and get benefited. You also get benefited. Yeah. So here is the chart which describes the different phases of the development. So after the preclinical study is over, the clients can submit their application, that is called investigational new drug application, to the regulatory. That is actually the permission for conducting the clinical trials in India. So we have to approach regulatory authority CDSCO for conducting the human studies. So phase 1 is, as I mentioned earlier, conducted in healthy volunteers. Phase 2, a larger number of disease adults, patients. And phase 3 again, larger than phase 2 population. So after the phase 3 is over, data is satisfactory, then the sponsor can file NDA, new drug application, to the regulatory and start marketing the products. Like you have seen in the vaccine studies, many of the vaccine molecules have received the emergency use approval from the regulatory because we didn't had extended efficacy safety data. So now we will definitely have good results in future. Okay, so these phases, understanding the phases are important, and we can discuss with the students if they have any ideas, then we can suggest them to go through the proper channel of the regulatory. One more point I wanted to share and focus is respect to the medical devices. So respected teachers and faculty members here, India has reformed and streamlined the regulations for medical devices also. And I have seen many IIT colleges conduct hackathons where they give some problem areas to the students and ask them to come up with some solutions. So unmet need is given, problems are given, and students are requested to come up with some interesting and effective solutions. So I would encourage you, if you can schedule such hackathons for students. There are a lot of diseases in India which are neglected basically. So I am associated with one NGO in Pune which is working for sickle cell anemia. So we sometimes visit the areas near Dharwad. There are a lot of sickle cell anemia patients. Generally क्या होता है, दो आपने एक challenges देखे होंगे. Thalassemia is similar disease, but it is affected. That disease is affected to the rich class of people, but sickle cellia is affected to the rural population, Adivasi Naxalite population. So there is a discrimination. People are not bothered about them. So I feel very bad about it. Sickle cell definitely needs some treatment. They are struggling, facing a lot of challenges. The pain is danger. I have seen the people suffering from sickle cell anemia. Similar, the discrimination I feel there is in the recent pandemic situation. You see the TB has caused a lot of damage in Indian population. There is a lot of death every year due to TB, but still we are not able to find any concrete solution for the TB. But you see, when Corona hit the European and US region, rich population, उन्होंने करके दिखाया कि एक साल में भी हम वैक्सीन ला सकते हैं, ठीक है. So there are a lot of disease, Kala Azar. This week I was in discussion with one NGO, that is DNDI, Drugs for Neglected Disease Initiative. So please see, they are doing amazing work at the NGO. They are working on the diseases for which they do not have the concrete solution. So again, just coming back to the point, we can arrange few hackathons. So in Mumbai, I have associated in past with BETIC division of the IIT Mumbai. So BETIC is basically, they are helping the researchers in bringing medical devices and new technology to the market. That is kind of an incubation center supported by government. The amazing work they are doing. In last few years, they have filed more than 100 patents, and many of the products are in market. One person has developed the stethoscope, which gives the good quality sound in lesser cost. कुछ prosthetic legs develop किए हैं उन्होंने बहुत ही cost effective Indian population के लिए, and they are working in association with Jaipur Foot. You must have heard about that NGO who helps for the people with disabilities who don't have the legs. They are providing the prosthetic legs, India made prosthetic legs in very lower cost. Okay, so I feel during the academics there should be a good collaboration with NGOs also. Those are working for some this interesting ground level issues in India. A few example I want to quote, like I belong to a place called Gondia. So near our place there is a place called Gadchiroli, Naxal affected area, very dangerous area. But I know some of the doctors had shifted from US to that place and doing great work for the society. So you must have heard about Dr. Prakash Amte and family. Also, there is one doctor, I do not remember the name right now, but at Melghat also there is one doctor who is doing amazing job. So there should be a good collaboration between NGOs, students, industry. So after because of this collaboration, we can work out something interesting, some research activities. So Dr. Abhay Bang, sorry, now I remember the name. Dr. Abhay Bang was in US, shifted to Gadchiroli area, and they have started NGO called Search. You can Google the name. They are doing a lot of activities. And one of the candidates had started a program through which they are encouraging and engaging the students also for this NGO activity. Due to Corona, they have stopped the activity at present, but they are regularly conducting this kind of activities. So yes, such collaboration can bring good research activities for the society. So let's see, in clinical trials, in the slide you can see approx 10-12 years is required to bring a new molecule. So drug discovery phase is important, definitely. Nowadays we are using many models also, not using animals as such due to the requirement of the ethical committees. So then next phase is the clinical trial phase of development, and last is the post-marketing surveillance phase. But we have seen now that the timelines is becoming decreasing because of the newer technologies, newer regulatory framework is now streamlining, so the timelines are significantly decreasing. Yeah, so in clinical trials, we follow a lot of regulations, guidelines. So there were some incidences through this slide I wanted to highlight. You must have heard about the thalidomide tragedy, which happened around 1965. Before that, after World War II, World Medical Association suggested that there should be some process when we do clinical trials. So the regulations were formed earlier, and then they streamlined it, they refined it, and we had Declaration of Helsinki, then Belmont Report, and finally in 1996 we had a standard guidelines which can be followed across the world, which was ICH GCP. So GCP belongs to the good clinical practices. So in clinical trial, if we do studies in India, we have to follow ICH GCP as well as Indian GCP and Indian regulations. We'll come to the later slide about the regulation. So ICH GCP, basically it is broadly divided into 4 categories: safety, efficacy, quality, and multidisciplinary. So we deal basically with the E6 guideline of the clinical research, that is good clinical practices. I will not go much into this theoretical aspect of the guideline, but just in nutshell, the guidelines are there to ensure that rights, safety, and well-being of the trial subjects are protected. Data is accurate, complete, reliable, and verifiable. So data is very, very important. Data is gold mine. So you must have seen a lot of controversies recently. People were giving false information that Covaxin, which is developed in India, it is not very safe, effective. But you see, they have published the data in Lancet, and the vaccine is as good as the other countries' vaccine like Covishield and other vaccines. Okay, so data is very important, and due to this guidelines, we always make sure that it is accurate data and verifiable data. So in clinical trials, if you see, these are the key stakeholders we deal with. Sponsors are the stakeholder who gives money for bringing up the molecule, like Johnson & Johnson and other pharma companies are called as sponsors. CROs are the third party for which the sponsor can contract them for on behalf of them for conducting the clinical trials. So that is basically contract research organizations. SMO works at site level, site management organization, and they work very aggressively. My most of the experience is with working with the global SMOs. So we work at ground level. So it was a great experience working with SMO, and we support this entire ecosystem to make speed up the enrollment process, ensure the data quality is accurate and good. Investigator means a doctor who is involved in the research. Institution is the hospital where we carry out the studies. We call it as a site also. Ethics committee is basically a committee which ensures that whatever the studies are conducted at the hospital is as per the regulations and the guidelines. So ethics committee is an independent committee set up under the authority of the hospital only, but it acts and works independently of the hospital. And the basic responsibility is to make sure that the study is conducted as per the regulation. Ethics is followed, science is followed, and patients are not harmed because of any studies. Patients are also our important stakeholders, and sometimes between the rush for the money, we sometimes forget the patients. But I believe patients are foremost and important stakeholders in the clinical trials, because just imagine we are now seeing the data of 20,000, 30,000 data for vaccine studies. जस्ट इमेजिन यदि कोई तैयार नहीं होता रिसर्च में पार्टिसिपेट होने के लिए, कंसेंट नहीं देता, तो हमें कैसे इतने जल्दी वैक्सीन मिलता. सो पेशेंट्स एंड दोज हु आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन द स्टडी आर आल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, सो in very short, I will just tell you what is the process at ground level in clinical trial. So when the startup phase is there, the sponsor is responsible for creating and finalizing the documents required for the clinical trial. So key documents are protocol, very, very important, case report forms, consent forms, investigator brochure, lab, pharmacy. So they set up everything which is required for conducting the study, and then they submit the proposal to the ethics committee for review at the hospitals. They have approached. They also side by side submit the proposal to regulatory authority So basically in India, if you want to conduct a clinical trial, you will need approval from CDSCO, that is Health Ministry's body. DC functions under the DCGI's office. Dr. VG Somani, again coming from the pharmacy background and leading the CDSCO office at present. So we require CDSCO permission and ethics committee permission before beginning the study. During the study, you see a sponsor have to supervise, manage, and so overall responsibility of the implementing quality management aspects is with sponsors. Ethics committee can oversee the study and investigator is working properly because we have to submit the progress reports to the regulatory ethics committee regularly. Investigator conducts the study as per the regulation, as per the protocol, and regulatory always oversee the projects. We have to submit the progress report to regulatory every 6 months also, and whenever required, they can come for the inspection. So just to clarify, inspection is always conducted by a regulatory authority, and audit can be conducted by the sponsors or third party appointed by them. So after the study is over, the data analysis task is the responsibility of sponsor. They can prepare the report and submit the CSR, that is clinical study report, to the regulatory authority and ethics committee. Okay, and after the study is over, investigator can store the data. So as per current practice, we have to store the documents for 15 years minimum after the clinical trial is over. And regulatory then can review the CSR and give the approval if the data is good. So basically, when regulatory reviews the data, they check whether the drug is safe and effective or not. Okay, so these are some of the leading regulatory authority: PMDA, Japan, ANVISA, US FDA, European Medical Association, CDSCO, Health Canada. Okay, so since we are in India, we have to follow the regulations which is used in India. So CDSCO is the authority which is giving approval and provide oversight for the clinical trials. Earlier, we used to follow the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and 1945. During the college days, we had a subject jurisprudence, which was very boring for me personally. But now I realize the importance of such subjects in the college time. So now we have to read the regulations very carefully. So that is the area which we do not focus properly earlier. But when we work at ground level, we realize that these are very, very important for us. So Schedule Y was for clinical trials in Drug and Cosmetic Act. In India, as I told earlier, regulations has been aligned with the global environment. So to encourage business, encourage but some funding to the Indian continent. So medical device, they have streamlined the regulations as per the global requirements. So from 1st January 2018, we have this good regulations for medical devices. So all syringes, ventilators come under this medical device regulation. Even some app which is analyzing or monitoring some health conditions like our BP, pulse rate. So all those app softwares also come under the medical device regulations. So please, faculty members, encourage students for reading these regulations because these are very important for us. Similarly, for clinical trials, we had new regulations in March 2019, that is GSR 227E. So any new regulations which is enforced and implemented, it comes to the GSR, which is called as a Gazettery Statutory Rules by Indian government. It is published in the required documents and then given to the public. So in during NDCT, they did a good exercise. They involved the industry stakeholders also and other stakeholders like investigators, hospitals. they requested them to comment on the draft of the regulations, and then they finalized the final version after obtaining the responses from the other stakeholders also. So now the rule which we are following since last 2 years is industry friendly. We are getting lot of global studies to India. A lot of opportunities are generated because of these regulations. Okay, so these are important. So just couple of things here, the opportunities which are there in clinical research. So you can discuss and always share this with the students. Like study coordinator is the person who works at ground level. So I started my career with this profile, and I'm really happy that I got opportunity to work at ground level, because when you go upper side of the level, if you have worked at ground level, you can manage the people at ground level. So that's this experience helps a lot. आजकल मैं देखता हूँ कि जो बच्चे हैं उनको एसी के ऑफिस में और एकदम कंफर्टेबल जॉब चाहिए, बट दैट हर्ट्स मी अ लॉट. काम ऐसा ढूंढना चाहिए जिसमें हमारे कपड़े गंदे हो, हमारे पसीना निकले, क्योंकि वही फिर आगे काम आता है. आप चाहे बिजनेस करो, आगे बढ़ो. तो ग्राउंड लेवल पे काम करने में काफी मजा आता है, काफी कुछ सीखने मिलता है. ऑब्वियसली वी हैव टू फेस लॉट ऑफ चैलेंजेस व्हेन वी वर्क एट ग्राउंड लेवल, but benefits are more when you grow further in the future and in industry. Yeah. So basic competencies required. Pharmacy background people are preferred more in the clinical trial industry, so that is a good part. Communications skills should be there, where I find the pharmacy background students are a bit lacking, which are coming from the tier 2, tier 3 cities. But that is not a problem. At college time, we can work out for enhancing the communication skills of the students. So a day in the life of a study coordinator, they have to deal with multiple stakeholders. They have to deal with the logistics people who place IP, investigation product, with the hospital. They have to work with the doctors. They have to work with the sponsors, CRO. So multiple amazing, so kind of people who want to meet, and different kind of sets of people. So I belong to that category, and I enjoyed my work at full. Okay, so this is the next level, I would say, in clinical trials, CTA or CRA, so clinical trial assistant or clinical research associate. So basically, they are for the monitoring of the data. So they oversee the work done by the investigator or CRC. So they basically represent the CRO or sponsors, and regularly come for the review of the documents, review of the processes. If there are any challenges the investigator is facing, they will help us while coordinating with the sponsors. So same competence is required. So basically, after a few months or few years of experience of CRC or CTA, they can get opportunity of working as a CRA. So for CRA, they have to support for audits, inspections. They will communicate with both the sites at site level, and communicate with the CRO. They have to travel a lot. So if the person who doesn't like the traveling, they should not choose this field. There is a lot of trying. I know some of my friends who travel more than 15 days in this field. So you should love that. Otherwise, this job is harmful for you. Okay, training is important part, which they have to regularly train the site level team. Documentation monitoring is also important task. Data management is really interesting and future of clinical trial industry. But because what is happening, lot of processes which we are doing at ground level in last 5 or 10 years, most of the things are streamlining, and technology is used. So a lot of platforms, a lot of technologies are used. So data management is a wonderful opportunity for the pharma people. I personally feel a bit boring, because sitting at one place doing the same thing daily. But the future wise, this field is really good, amazing opportunities. So same set of knowledge and expert knowledge is required. Okay, there is nothing special. Few courses are there for data management. Even data analytics and data science is the field which many students are now choosing. Um, so they have to deal with the data. Whatever data is generated through the study, generally they note down in the case report forms and then transcribed into the electronic form of the database. So these people deal with the databases, they deal with the SOPs. So now a lot of emphasis has been given to the cyber security of this clinical research records. So amazing work at data management part. PV pharmacovigilance again, the field which is very promising for India, because India is catering good business for PV activities. The major players like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, they are having good projects in hand and in future. Okay, so basically, PV is the activities which is dealing for the adverse reactions and SAEs. So they work with the different softwares like Argus, very costly softwares, and make sure that risk management mitigation is followed for all the studies. They follow certain coding of the diseases which is required to be mentioned in the softwares. So yeah, wonderful opportunity. So they have to do the safety database archival, query management, essay review. Just to add one point here, Indian government has recently coming up with the new uh, process for reporting of SAE. So from 14th of March, they have made all the process online through a portal called Sugam portal. Though you can browse that website, lot of informations are given. So application for clinical trials, essay reporting, everything is done through Sugam portal. So in last few years, 3-4 years, we have streamlined the processes. कागजी काम खत्म करना है और सारा कुछ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक हो रहा है, तो दिस इज वेरी वेलकम स्टेप फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ द अस लाइक इंडस्ट्री पीपल. बहुत अच्छा काम किया है. आई एम नॉट सपोर्टिंग एनी government specifically or political comment, but they have done amazing job in streamline the processes and documentation at CDSC office. Yeah, so this is my last slide where I just wanted to highlight few points. Like as a faculty members, we should always remember that we should prepare our students for the future. So this is, I feel that the areas which are coming up with respect to the clinical trials and artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics. There are a lot of startups working on some amazing technologies. Government incubation center hackathons are there. So these are we have listed few organizations that like SAMA. Okay, SAMA is have office in Pune. The core office, head office is in Silicon Valley, United States. They have developed some amazing technologies for clinical trials. So these startups and companies are streamlining the processes using the technology to the highest level. So currently at CT Quest, we are associated with one company based in Singapore. So they are developing some systems with respect to oncology studies. So generally, when we do any study, we conduct a feasibility at ground level. So they are coming up with softwares which help them in collecting the data of different government agencies, and they are providing this data to hospitals and pharma companies, which can be helpful for their processes. So these are just few names who are doing good work in our field, and the future lies with these companies. Okay, so that's it. This is the last slides of the presentation.
Okay, so participants, if you have any questions, then please post it in the chat box. We'll wait for 1 minute. Attendance link is shared in the chat box of the YouTube, and it remained active for 20 minutes. So I request all the participants to please fill up the attendance link within 20 minutes. Okay, so we'll conclude the session. So thank you, sir, for your enlightening thoughts. It was our pleasure to have you on this faculty development program. Your deep insights on the topic clinical research was really helpful for us. So once again, thank you, sir, for sparing your precious time with us.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Pleasure is mine. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir. Respected faculty participants, I request to fill feedback form. The feedback link is shared in the YouTube chat box. And kindly note, the feedback link would be active only for the 20 minutes. So here we will take a break of 1 hour and we shall meet sharp at 2 p.m. with the exciting and the knowledgeable post-lunch session. We'll begin the session sharp at 2 p.m. So all faculties are requested to join YouTube link 10 minutes before the session. So thank you all.